Morning we are going to make another hawktail broom, but we're going to do it with a twist this time. So we're going to start out with some black processed broom corn, and it's probably about maybe a half a pound to a little bit more, but basically what feels good in your hand. That feels good in my hand. So when you're doing the hawktail, you're going to separate it more than you would for a turkey wing. Usually a turkey wing wants about 9 sections, and a hawktail wants about double of that. So we are going to be using some blue variegated twine, and you'll see that I have it on top of my red. If I'd been smart, I would have had my red in one section and my variegated in another section and something else here, but that didn't happen. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide our broom corn. I do it just by the half method. Okay, so I'm going to half this, and you'll find with black broom corn, it's on your hands. And then I'm going to half that again, and then I'm going to half these one more time. And what that does is it gives it a real fine adding, because with a hawktail you're adding on both sides. So once I've done that into about eighths, yeah, then I'll start stacking them so they're ready. Doesn't take, it's not something that's measured or weighed. It's just, that's good. Jill's kind of crafting. That's good. That works. Okay, so those are all done, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this bunch over here to about 8. So I'm going to half it and quarter it, and then 16th it, right? So once this is done, I've got this all ready to go. It's all nice and neat and easy to grab. Make sure that you have a jerk string before you start tying on your broom. I always have 2. We'll go over how to make them again. But I always have 2 sitting here because you have to have a jerk string to finish off the job, and it's not something that you can do off your spindle because it's tied up. So we're going to talk about doing your knots. So let's make a jerk string again, just so you know how to do it. So I'm going to take, actually I don't know, maybe that's 12 inches, 16 inches. I'm going to cut it. Now all I'm going to do is do an overhand knot here. Okay, so I take my 2 ends, I wrap them around my finger so that there's an X. Notice those dirty hands. And then I'm going to take those tails and I'm just going to stick them through that hole. There's an overhand knot. Pretty basic and simple. So there's a jerk string. You want 2 of those, and you just sit them to the side there. So now we're ready to get started. So I know people have said, what do you do with your feet? Once again, my cool slippies. It's probably better if you have hard-soled shoes on, but that's where it goes. So I'm going to have my feet here, and I'm pulling here. And switch it up with your legs. Okay. So how we start out. First, an overhand knot. We just did that over there, right? So we loop around your finger where it's an X. Open that up a little bit and put it through. There's an overhand. Now, the reason you put that on is so that the knot doesn't slip through. Slip knot, right? So now we're going to make the knot that slides on the long end, not the short end. So here's my dirty hand. I'm going to go around it, and then there's my X. I'm going to hold that X with my thumb, turn that hoop upside down, take my other hand with the 2 fingers, go down the hoop looking for the snake. How's that? Down the hoop looking for the snake and pull the snake up. Now when I do this, I don't want a real long tail here, so if it ends up being long, I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. So let's do that one more time. Here's my 3 fingers. I'm going to wrap around it so I've got an X. I'm going to hold that X, turn that hoop down, and then go with my other hand looking for a snake. And there's the snake. I'm going to pull the snake up through the hole. And then once again, I want to make sure that this short tail isn't real long. A little bit long is fine, but if it's real long, you just got to wrap it in the broom. So why bother with that? I'm going to shorten that up a little bit as I tighten up this knot. Okay. So there's my loop. and then I'm going to start. Okay, so this turkey tail, nope, hawk tail, not turkey tail, hockey tail. Must have been a long morning so far. Hawk tail, there we go. We're going to start the beginning piece pretty low down here on the brushy stuff, okay? I'm going to have to tighten up the spindle a little bit. Okay, so and then I'm going to wrap, tighten that up, see how that little nut tightens up because it's sliding on the long one, and that's what you want, okay? So I'm going to make sure that knot's kind of back here to get wrapped on, so I'm going to wrap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this so it levels up. Remember when I'm adding, I'm always adding in between what I'm working on and the spindle, not back here in the front, okay? So I'm going to wrap on that side. So this is the difference between a turkey wing and a hawk tail. Turkey wing you only add on this side. Hawk tail we're going to add on both. And the way we do that is by turning it and taking our next little section. And I forgot about this. You actually need to have 17, not 16, because you have an odd amount. And we're going to wrap on this. So here comes the twist. Instead of doing an advance, we're just going to wrap for 3 times. No advancing. Actually, we're going to wrap. Let's wrap it for about 5 times, and then we'll start seeing some of that color in that variegated twine. Okay, so I know I'm on the add side when I see this tail. Okay, so I'm always trying to add on the same side. All right, so even that up. I'm going to add it on this side. And then I'm going to add it on the other side. Bring that down and wrap it again for about 4 or 5 times. We've got a color change now. Okay, so once again, here we go. You see this ties up pretty quick. One on the right side, flip it over, at the other set. And we're going to wrap for about 5. See how that color's changing? Oops, I added it on the wrong side. So let me go back here. See, I can tell that. I want one side not to show those, so I'm going to make sure that when I add these, I always add it on the same side, and I did not there. I should have added this one on this side first, and then the second one here. Okay, so I want that nice and tight as I can get it. And here we go. See, so you got a little bit of advance, but we want the advances on the back side, not the front. So always keep them on the same side. So I'm just going to wrap one more time, then I'm going to come back here and do another set. Here's the first part of it, and I'm on my advanced side to add the first part. And then the second part. Once again, I'm going to wrap it about 5 or 6 times, I think. Okay, see how that looks? You see all that variegated color in there? Makes it very awesome. Okay, so once again, here's the first part. second part. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit off of each one of these since I should have made 17 and not 16. So that I have that left. That one's turned upside down. Okay, leveling it out. Keep that as close as I can. And wrap it again. 5. Got one more. Okay. Oops. Okay. Ready to wrap it. Then I'm going to do the other side. And we're going to go for 6. So I've got 2 more sections I'm going to do here. Oop, and I'm going to wait and get it on this side before I add. Make sure it's level. Add the other side. Okay, so now we get to the fun part. That's pretty much all I'm going to add on that hawk tail. See how it's nice and flared out. I mean, I could, but you got to watch how thick you're getting up top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to wrap up this guy. And that way all that cool color will show. And as I get more towards the top, I'm going to put a piece of leather up there for a hanger. And I will show you how. So this is just wrapping. So like wrap around and pull. Want to keep it nice and snug. Of course, that's going to tighten that up some. Look how cool that is. Very cool broom. And you don't have to do this with variegated, but it sure makes it a lot prettier. See those changes in color. And you can see how fast this works up. So if everybody on your holiday list needs a broom, you can get it done pretty quick. Plus like this, you're working on that upper arm strength. Okay, so let's put that jerk string in. I've got the knot because I'm right-handed and I'm going to pull to the right. Look at my hand now. Over to the right-hand side. Keep that smooth in there and we're going to wrap 5 times. One more time. Okay, then I'm going to cut this down here, holding that tension. I'm going to take that tail and I'm going to run it through the loop on the left-hand side for me. And I'm going to still switch my thumb on the tension, come over here to the knot side of the jerk string. And sometimes pull it through. If it gets a knot in it in transition or twists, like this one did, you got to come back and get the twist out of it or it won't pull it through. Let's try it now. There you go. So it doesn't matter what you put it around something and tighten it up. Okay, and then I can trim this a little bit off. It's not going anywhere. So I'll go back and I'll trim this off so it's pretty. But there's your broom. So that would be the back side. You can see where I did my advances, and there's the front side. See, it doesn't take that long to work up. Just makes your hands dirty. Hey, it's Jill. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and like our videos and subscribe. That way you're always updated on anything basket related that we have on our Jill Choate Basketry channel. You won't miss a thing. Please like us and subscribe. See you next time.